Welcome back to the channel, RacerX here, and today we're going to be talking about the 2025 Charger Daytona RT. I literally just saw an article put out a couple of hours ago about this exact car and the fact that it is going to be going away permanently. So stay tuned, I will give you all the news on this. If you guys are brand new to the channel, please do me a big gigantic favor. Don't forget to hit subscribe. You can find that button right over here, and off we go.
T-minus 15 seconds.
Today I'm back with my good buddies at the Dream Giveaway Garage in Largo, Florida, because I want to show you some of the epic giveaways that they're doing right now, and they are many. First off, you have this monster Escalade V. It is actually paired with that CT5V Blackwing right over there. You get both cars in the same drawing. Both have the exact same paint scheme on them. Over 1,300 horsepower in that drawing. This one is ending very soon. It is a mammoth 1000 TRX from Hennessy, an absolute monster. You have two absolutely gorgeous classic Mopars right here, a 1969 and a half Plymouth Roadrunner right next to a 1970 Cuda. Both of those cars in the same drawing. This one is a really popular giveaway. This is their 0 to 60 Hellcat giveaway. I absolutely love this sublime and black color scheme on this. It is a manual 2023 Hellcat with basically no miles. I think there's 18 miles on this. This is one of the quickest giveaways that they've ever done. Here are two more giveaways that I think are absolutely epic. This is a Porsche GT4 RS. Man, look at the aero on this car. This is an absolutely beautiful car. And when you talk about a road presence, take a look at this beast. This is a 2005 Ford GT mid-engine supercharged V8. So low, so wide, so rare. I cannot believe they're giving this thing away. And both of these drawings are live right now. Check out this pairing, one of my favorites they have in the entire garage. That is a 2025 Corvette Z06 with the Z07 package on it, black and red seats. Of course, we know this is a mid-engine car. Take a look at it right there with all that carbon fiber, just gorgeous. And take a look at this, a 1964 big block Corvette Resto mod. This thing is just beautiful. I can't imagine how much fun this car is to drive. Anyway, guys, that's only some of the giveaways they have here at the Dream Giveaway Garage, and they're coming out with more and more. They have two more Mopar giveaways coming very soon that are going to be epic. I wish I could show those to you right now, but go to Dream Giveaway's website, enter to win. You can use my code RacerX for 4X entries. That works on all of their epic giveaways. You have to pay very close attention to when these end, or you're going to miss out. I can't wait to see who wins. For those of you guys that have been following my channel for a while now, you probably realized that last year, Dodge invited me out to Arizona to go to the Radford Racing School, where I was able to put the Charger Daytona through its paces before it ever hit the dealerships. And I got to drive both the Scatpack and the RT. And I took these things up a mountain road, I drag raced them, I drifted them, I put them on a road course. I basically just was able to beat the crap out of the car for a full day, had other influencers involved there as well. And a lot of influencers really had nothing positive to say about the car at all. Other people really liked the car. I always try and be somewhere in between. I try to be unbiased. I am not an EV guy, so don't make any mistake, guys. I've never really liked EVs all that much. I've never owned an EV, but I tried to go into it and just be impartial. And there were some things I really did like about the car. One of my negative takeaways was it was just too darn expensive for what you get. I mean, 456 horsepower for the RT version of this, which is the watered down version, for mid-60s is a lot of money. And for the Scatpack, some of those, like fully decked out Scatpacks, the one I was driving in Arizona was approaching $90,000. It's 630 horsepower. It wasn't slow, and it was actually a very enjoyable car to drive for me. I know a lot of people don't like the fake sound, or they don't like that it's all-wheel drive, but like I said, I had some really positive things to say. I really like the interior of the car. It's just a lot of money. And the hard part about the Daytona, and I've mentioned this multiple times, is there's really no market segment for this particular car. I know that Carlos Tavares had his visions and all that kind of stuff. He's not here anymore. I know a lot of the folks at Dodge kind of wish they could just take this thing away. That's my understanding from talking to a lot of people, but it is here now, and they put a lot of engineering hours into it, a lot of effort. It's just not being well received by the brotherhood of muscle, and that's kind of where we are with this. And so the EV guys, they don't like it because it doesn't have autonomous driving. It's not as fast as a Model 3 Performance, clearly not as fast as like a Model S Plaid, and and it's pretty darn expensive for what you get. And of course, the muscle car guys, they don't really like it either because it's all-wheel drive. It has fake sound. You know, it just doesn't check off the boxes for what a traditional muscle car would be. And like I said, the price point again. So it's like, what segment were they really going for with this car? Because it kind of fell in between the cracks, if you will, and the sales data proves it. The lots are jammed full of these cars. They're not selling. Dodge is giving crazy incentives to try and get these cars out there in the hands of like employees, in the hands of regular folks with crazy lease deals. And now here we are, some new news coming down the pipe about the RT. A couple of months ago, it came out that because this car has not been well received by the Brotherhood of Muscle, for 2026, it was going to be order only in both the RT and the Scatpack. I mean, you can go to pretty much any Dodge dealership right now and find just a whole bunch of these sitting on the lots that they're just not going anywhere. So that didn't surprise me at all. Now, one thing that did surprise me a little bit, today I just found out that the RT is going away for good. So it's hard enough to get the Scatpacks out, but nobody seems to want the lower trim on this. Like I said, mid-60s for 456 horsepower. A lot of people just, they're not seeing it right now. We know that the outgoing 6.4 liter Hemi made 485 horsepower, more than this, and you can get it for a lot less money. And I really do like the way the car looks. Not everybody likes it. Everybody says it's big. It definitely is heavy, right? 5,800 pounds. So you're approaching 6,000 pounds in one of these. And one of the other big things that we found out at that drive event in Arizona is the fact that from a hardware perspective, this car is basically identical to the Scatpack version that makes way more power. The batteries are the same. They have basically just dumbed it down through software. So, I mean, mechanically, you're getting the same car. It's just not as capable. It is kind of a weird way to do things, but that's the way they decide to do it. But now we know the RT is going away for good. They're not even going to offer it moving forward. So once they sell through what they have, that's probably going to be it on the RTs. Now, I did find out just today that they are offering special incentives on the RT only. I saw some really insane lease deals for as little as like $250 something a month if you're an employee, and like right around $300 a month if you're not an employee on a lease deal. Now, granted, it's not a high mileage lease deal, but I mean, for a $65,000 car, you know, $300 a month, the math just, you know, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but they're trying to get these out there. But like I said, guys, it doesn't surprise me. I mean, not a lot of people are wanting to sign up for the lower version of this, and it is what it is. One of the things that I mentioned when I first reviewed this car out in Arizona many months ago is how much I like the interior of this car compared to the outgoing 2023 Charger and Challenger models. I really feel like a refresh was sorely needed, and I think they did a really good job. There are some subtle cues in this car that date back to the 60s in terms of how this dash wraps around. I like the fact that it is driver-centric, kind of like the Challenger was. It drives more like a car than an EV in terms of ergonomically, how it sets up. I like the flat bottom and flat top steering wheel, really nice digital display. I mean, I feel like they did some things really well. I think the seats actually are really nice in this car as well. And the fact that it's a hatchback makes it a little more useful. So kudos to the team that did the interior of this car. I've heard people say that they don't like it or whatever. I feel like people sometimes really just like to complain, but when you're sitting in this car, it really does feel upgraded compared to the outgoing car. I mean, I'm getting ready to go sit in my 170 right now, and I will tell you, sitting in this car, it feels nice. I like it. And it drives way different than, say, like a Tesla would. Like I said, it's kind of like getting in a normal car and driving it. Now, obviously, I have a YouTube channel about cars, and I will admit that one of the weird things about car people is just how fickle they can be, how incredibly opinionated they can be, how narrow-minded they can be on things. And we like to compare things, right? Things like horsepower, quarter-mile times, Nürburgring times, top speed, all sorts of weird stuff. And a lot of times, it makes no difference at all. I've heard people argue about the Demon 170, how it's a complete piece of trash because it will only go 150 miles an hour. First off, where in the world are you planning on going faster than 150 mile an hour? Last time I checked, there was no 150 mile an hour speed limit on the roads. The thing will do a quarter mile. I mean, mine did 9.0 at over 150 miles an hour. I mean, what exactly are you looking for there, right? It's the argument is, oh, my Scatpack will go faster. Where are you going to go do that, right? If, your Porsche will go 2 seconds faster on the Nürburgring than, some other $500,000 car, who freaking cares when you're driving it to the freaking grocery store and back? Is it fun to drive, right? That's really the biggest thing. And I've heard so many people argue about the stupidest things that don't make a hell of beans. And that's kind of the trap we fall in as car people, right? And so, this car, a little bit of that, right? I mean, you think about how the Scatpack version of this stacks up against the Model S Plaid. Well, first off, the Plaid is a little bit more expensive, but the Plaid most definitely is way faster than that car. But I still maintain, and I've driven my share of Plaids, they're not that fun to drive. I mean, it's cool when you blast off about 3 or 4 times, but the car is just mundane on the inside. I've never really been a Tesla guy. You drive them like an iPad, you swipe up and do a bunch of other weird stuff. You got the yoke steering wheel, which they changed to where you could option out of that. But I mean, just the inside of a Tesla is it's just really boring, in my opinion, right? And no offense to the Tesla guys out there. I know a lot of people like the Plaid just because it's fast, but I feel like this car is just a nicer car to sit in and a nicer car to drive, despite the fact it is not as fast. And that's not me being a simp for Dodge. Anybody that sat in one of these, go sit in a Tesla and then come sit in this, and you will see that it feels nicer. But because it's not even close to as fast, it makes it an absolute piece of trash. Now, I realize there are other things at play, right? I mean, I realize the charging network for these, not very good. You can't go to a Tesla supercharger and charge your car. You pretty much have to do it at home. And that's a huge drawback of this car. So I will completely admit that. But like I said, I think that the people that designed this car, I think they did a pretty darn good job with what they had to work with. And, this car, again, I mean, it's like, if you think of the Model 3 performances of the world, the Model 3 will absolutely blow the doors off of this version of this car. It's even faster than the Scatpack version, right? But does it make the driving experience that much more satisfying? Maybe not. And I've always argued that, sometimes it's more fun, right, to drive a slow car fast than a fast car slow. It's kind of the same sort of thing. Like, there are so many people out there that can take a Mazda Miata that makes, I don't know, 140 horsepower or something like that, and they go autocross it, and they have so much fun with it. Okay, you don't have to make 1,000+ horsepower to have fun in a car. But we as car people, we have to make it to where, it sucks because it's 2/10 behind, in some road course that exists halfway across the world. Anyway, guys, that whole entire rant was really just my way of saying sometimes you just have to go drive something and see if it's enjoyable to drive without comparing it to this and this and this and this and this. And I mean, that's the trap we all fall into. But as I'm driving this thing down the road, it's incredibly smooth. I actually don't mind the sound coming out of the back. I know a lot of people hate it because it's fake. Sometimes people just love to complain. That's the truth of it. And, maybe you don't like the sound that comes out of the back. You can turn it off. That's perfectly fine. Everybody has a different opinion about it. But as I'm just cruising along, I mean, it still makes 450 horsepower, and it's all electric horsepower, which means you get all of your torque immediately. So just this little stretch right here, I can just blip it. Boom, here comes all the power. It does not feel slow. Now, when I go to get on the brakes, you can feel the heft a little bit. As I mentioned, we're going on 6,000 pounds on this. Good thing they put big brakes on it. But it doesn't feel slow just driving it around. And that's kind of my take when I drove the Scatpack out in Arizona as well. I was driving it around on those mountain roads. Car felt plenty powerful and plenty fast. And I really enjoyed just driving it around. Like I said, you do the comparison and all the nitpicking. That's when all of a sudden it doesn't stack up. But like I said, it's just what people do. Anyway, guys, I just wanted to put the word out there for you guys. I just read this article a few minutes ago, just came out today, and it's not surprising that the RT is going away. I don't think that's a bad move by Dodge based on everything that we're seeing. Will the Scatpack eventually go away? I think it really depends on how many orders they get in 2026. If I was a betting man, I would say yes. I think the electric Charger is going to go away altogether. Now, they are still planning on putting out the 4-door versions of these. I would imagine they're just going to be the Scatpack versions, but I don't think you're going to see any 4-door RT versions coming out at all. And of course, we're waiting on the 6-pack car to show up here in the next probably month and a half. Maybe by the end of July, we'll see the 6-pack start showing up in dealerships, and we will see how that car sells. And then Dodge will have to adjust based on how that car does. I really think a lot of that is going to depend on what that price point is on that car. And I think that car might actually kind of have the same thing happen. I think the lower version of that car, right? The standard output Hurricane, the 4-door version, it may not sell that well. That's just my personal feeling. I feel like they will do okay with the high output version, the 2-door that they're going to call the Outlaw. But like I said, we'll just have to wait and see. Time will tell what happens with that. But anyway, guys, let me know what you think about all this in the comments down below, and I'll catch you on the next one. So until then, RacerX.